I'm going to take you through an easy follow along hip mobility routine, which I call clockwork hips. All you need is something to put your foot on that's nice and solid and not going to topple over. Now, hip mobility is crucial as we get older because it helps us maintain balance and stability, which helps us to stay active and independent for our whole lives. So we're going to go ahead and put your right foot on your chair. If you're a little bit unsteady, you can use the back of the chair, or if you're putting your foot on a block, you could be near a wall and just have the wall to steady yourself. We're going to have the foot where the knee is sort of in line with the foot or a little bit further, so we've got room to move. Now, this is important. Your foot that's on the floor wants to be pointing straight forward at 12 o'clock. And we're going to have the hips nice and square. We're going to stay nice and tall because we want to create length in the hip flexor here. We're going to come forward. Try and keep your heel on the floor for as long as you can. Don't worry if it comes off slightly. We're going to take it forward here, but then we want to really push up off the foot that's on the chair to bring us back up. That way we're activating the muscles and not just stretching them. Keep your tummy in, coming forward, and then coming back. We're going to repeat that for about 10 times. So let's go. Taking it forward. You're going to feel the stretch here. Now, the important thing to remember here is if your hips are tight here, your body is going to want to escape the stretch. And it might do that by leaning you forward towards the knee. So I want you to make sure that you stay nice and upright and feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. And we want to activate the glute as well. So give that glute a little bit of a squeeze, because when we activate the glute, the brain tells the opposite muscles here to open and release. Remember to push back off the foot that's on the chair. Let's do about 3 or 4 more. Work in your range. Keep that chest lifted. Keep the head up. It matters if the head's down. We're rounded and that kinetic chain is shortening and closing. And let's bring it back. Now we're going to turn that standing foot out slightly. So we're going to go out to about 10 o'clock. Make sure you're nice and steady on that chair. That's going to open up those hips a little bit more. And again, staying upright, coming forward, a little squeeze of the glute here, and then push down onto the block or your chair to come back up. This is going to make the stretch that we're aiming for in the hips more three-dimensional, and that's what we want because they move three-dimensionally. Remember to push back off the foot that's on the chair. It doesn't matter if the knees go over the toes here. In fact, knees going over the toes is quite a good thing. It's a natural movement and it's how we squat. So we're getting a bit of benefit in the knees there as well. And of course, if you look here, we're coming forward, we're getting a bit of an Achilles stretch. So there's never just one benefit to these exercises. Let's do 2 more. And then bring it back. We're now going to turn that foot out to what would be 9 o'clock. Now, don't worry if you cannot get all the way turned out to 9 o'clock. We're building up to it. And if you stay consistent with these exercises and this little routine, you'll soon get there. So we're going to have that foot turned out to 9 o'clock. Now, what might happen is that knee that's on the chair might want to collapse in. And that's because limitations in your movement here in your pelvis and your hips are bringing the pelvis round and the knee starts to collapse. So we want to keep that knee pressed out in line with the toes. Let's take it forward. Push up off that foot that's on your chair or your block. You could even use your sofa. Whatever height works for you, just make sure it's solid and it's not going to topple over. Try to keep the outside edge of the standing foot on the floor. That way, not only do we get more length here on the inside of the hips, but we get a corresponding lengthening through the outside edge of the foot and the ankle. And those two ranges of movement are very much married together. And I'll explain that in more videos as we go along. Keep that head up. I caught myself there, just looking down. Keep that tummy in, keep that chest lifted. Let's do 3 more. Remember, we want to push off the foot that's on the chair or your block. Another good place to do these is on the staircase as well, if you've got a staircase. If not, you could use your sofa. And then bring that foot off. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the other side. So let's pop the other foot up on there. Again, make sure it's not too far to the edge so it's not going to topple over. And we want to have the toes pointing forward to 12 o'clock. Nice and tall, chest lifted. And let's engage that glute of the standing leg coming forward, staying upright, and then bringing it back by pushing off the foot that's on your block or chair. Remember the escapes for this. The escape for this might be for that back leg to turn you out to avoid the stretch in the hip flexor. So we want to make sure we keep those toes pointing forward at 12 o'clock. Let's do another 3, 2, remember to engage the glutes, and 1. Now we're going to turn that back foot out to about 2 o'clock. So just bring that heel in, turn it out. Again, that's going to open up the hips. You'll slightly rotate, but don't let that knee collapse in and follow it. And again, coming forward, and then push off the foot and bring it back. Remember to engage that glute. And another important thing to remember is not just how to speak properly and pronounce your words, but it's to control your breathing. A good cue is to breathe out as you're going into the stretch. Maybe take a breath in and then breathe out as you come back. As long as you're breathing, that's the only rule. But the breathing does help if the breath is controlled and calm. Let's do 2 more. And then bring it back. Okay, let's go for turning. My back will be to you here, but I want you to see it from this other angle. We're going to turn that foot out to about 3 o'clock. Try to look as far forward or straight ahead as you can. Again, watch that knee doesn't collapse, and we're coming forward. Feel that stretch, push back off the foot. We want the feet to be active in this because that's going to help to activate the glutes. When your foot feels pressure through the bottom of the foot and through the proprioceptors, it sends messages to the brain, which sends messages to other muscles to react. So it's going to send that message to your glutes to fire up. And when we've got those lovely, strong glutes, then we've got more stabile, that's a new word, mobile and stable hips. Although I do like stabile. Let's do 2 more. And then bring it back. Now, if you notice that one side's easier than the other, then go back and do another set on the side that's a little bit more sticky. We're going to finish that exercise with just some little side to side hips, doing some hip circles just because they feel good. If you like that video, give it a like, share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more free videos, and I will see you in the next video. Do I stop? Or do I keep going? I'll see you in the next video.